You've probably met someone who says, "I'm doing keto, but it's not working." They cut out bread and pasta, yet the scale doesn't move, energy crashes hit and cravings return. The truth, most people think they're in ketosis, but hidden carbs quietly pull them out. A splash of sauce, a spoonful of yogurt, even a handful of nuts can spike blood sugar enough to halt ketone production. It's not about willpower, it's about knowing the science behind what's really zero carb. When you understand the simple science of how food affects your body, everything changes. Real food that's truly zero carb keeps your blood sugar flat, your insulin steady, and your body burning fat around the clock. You stop chasing energy highs and lows. Instead, you build metabolic flexibility, your body's ability to effortlessly switch between burning sugar and burning fat for fuel. That's when ketosis becomes sustainable, not stressful. Zero-carb foods aren't a trend, they're a tool for clarity and consistency. They remove the guesswork, silence cravings, and let your body do what it's designed to do: heal, balance, and thrive. Most of us overcomplicate keto, but it doesn't have to be that way. Once you know which foods keep you truly carb-free, staying in ketosis becomes effortless. So, tell me, what's one food you always thought was zero carb but recently discovered wasn't? Imagine your body as an energy machine, constantly choosing which fuel to burn, sugar or fat. Every time you eat, you send it a message. If that meal includes carbs, even something that seems small, like an apple, a slice of bread, or a bit of rice, your blood sugar begins to rise. Within minutes, your body releases insulin, the hormone that helps move that sugar from your blood into your cells. This creates what's called a glycemic responses, a visible spike in your blood glucose curve. That spike may give you quick energy, but soon after, insulin drives your sugar levels back down, leaving you tired, hungry, or craving something sweet again. Now imagine a different scenario. You sit down to a meal of grilled steak and olive oil, or maybe eggs cooked in butter. These are zero-carb food stuff. They don't raise blood sugar at all. Your glucose line stays flat. With no insulin spike, your body doesn't switch into sugar burning mode. Instead, it continues burning fat for energy and producing of ketones. Those tiny molecules your brain and muscles love as clean, efficient fuel. This steady state is what's called fat adaptation. Your metabolism becomes flexible and calm instead of swinging up and down all day. Dr. Jesse Inchospe often describes this process using glucose curves. Smooth and stable lines after eating real, unprocessed food versus sharp, erratic spikes from carb-heavy meals. The difference isn't just what you see on a chart, it's what you feel. Flat glucose means no mid-afternoon crash, no foggy brain, and no wild cravings. It's the feeling of steady, predictable energy. When you rely on carbs for fuel, your metabolism becomes dependent on constant refueling. You eat, your glucose rises, insulin comes to lower it, and when it drops again, you need to eat again. That's why many people struggle with hunger even when they're consuming enough calories. Their body is stuck in a sugar-burning loop. But when you fill your plate with zero-carb foods, you flip the switch. You teach your body to access stored fat for energy whenever it needs it. You move from instability to stability, from dependency to freedom. Think about it this way: an apple may seem healthy, but it contains natural sugar that triggers a mild glucose spike. A piece of steak, on the other hand, keeps your blood sugar perfectly level. Both can fit into different lifestyles, but only one maintains continuous ketone generation. The hallmark of being in ketosis. That's the magic of understanding the science behind zero-carb eating. It's not about strict rules, it's about giving your body clarity and consistency. Once you grasp how carbs influence your blood sugar and insulin, you realize how simple it can be to stay in fat-burning mode. Eating zero-carb foods removes the metabolic guesswork. You stop fighting your biology and start working with it. When you start focusing on zero-carb eating, the first thing you realize is how much simpler food becomes. You no longer need to count, measure, or stress about every bite. You just choose from foods that naturally keep your glucose flat and your energy high. Let's break them down into 3 categories: animal-based, dairy-based, and plant-based, so you can see how effortless staying in ketosis can be. As animal-based foods are the foundation of a zero-carb lifestyle. Think beef, chicken, pork, lamb, turkey, and wild-caught fish like salmon, sardines, and tuna. These are pure protein and fat with virtually no carbohydrates. When you eat a grilled steak or a piece of salmon, your blood sugar remains perfectly steady. These foods nourish your body with essential amino acids, B vitamins, iron, and omega-3 fats, all without raising insulin. They also keep you full for hours, eliminating the energy crashes and hunger pangs that come with carb-heavy meals. Eggs belong here too. They're nature's most complete food, packed with choline, high-quality protein, and fat for brain and muscle health. Next are us dairy-based foods, which can be zero-carb if you choose carefully. Butter, ghee, heavy cream, and hard cheeses like Parmesan cheddar or Swiss have almost no carbohydrates because most of the lactose, the natural sugar in milk, is removed during processing. These foods are not only delicious but also provide fat-soluble vitamins A, D, and K2, key nutrients that support hormone balance and fat metabolism. Adding a pat of butter to your steak or a spoon of heavy cream to your coffee doesn't just make meals satisfying, it helps your body stay in fat-burning mode while adding flavor and texture. The key is moderation and quality. Always choose grass-fed and minimally processed options to avoid additives or hidden sugars. Finally, there are plant-based and condiment options that enhance your meals without disrupting ketosis. Oils like olive, avocado, coconut, and MCT oil are completely carb-free and promote ketone production. They provide sustained energy and support heart and brain health. Herbs and spices such as salt, pepper, garlic powder, turmeric, rosemary, and oregano add taste and antioxidants without any meaningful carbs. Even mustard, vinegar, and hot sauce can fit beautifully into a zero-carb plan as long as they're sugar-free and clean labeled. These small details matter because hidden sugars and fillers are often the reason people unknowingly step out of ketosis. Zero-carb foods simplify everything. They remove the spikes, crashes, and cravings caused by fluctuating blood sugar. They're nutrient-dense, satisfying, and sustainable. You don't have to complicate keto when your plate is filled with real food that keeps your glucose flat, your insulin low, and your energy high. So if you had to build your perfect zero-carb meal, what would it be? Crispy salmon with buttered asparagus, or eggs and steak cooked in ghee. When you remove carbs completely from your diet, something remarkable happens inside your body. Everything becomes calm. Your blood sugar, which once spiked and crashed all day long, begins to flatten into a steady line. You're no longer riding the roller coaster of hunger, fatigue, and cravings. This is the metabolic simplicity of zero-carb eating. Your body isn't constantly guessing what fuel to burn. It knows exactly what to do. Without carbs to interrupt the process, it naturally shifts into fat-burning mode, producing ketones as a clean, stable energy source. People often think ketosis is difficult to maintain, but the truth is, it's the fluctuations that make it hard. Eating dirty keto, filled with artificial sweeteners or processed low-carb snacks, or experimenting with carb cycling can keep your metabolism confused. Your insulin levels rise slightly, your glucose curve wiggles, and suddenly your body can't decide whether to burn fat or sugar. That uncertainty is what keeps you feeling sluggish, hungry, and frustrated. But when you eat purely zero-carb, meat, eggs, butter, oils, and spices, you remove all the noise. Your metabolism runs smoothly, like a silent engine burning its most efficient fuel. Dr. Jesse Inchauspé often talks about this using glucose monitor data. When people eat whole, unprocessed foods, their glucose lines stay beautifully flat. There are no peaks, no crashes, just calm, steady energy. That's exactly what zero-carb eating provides. You're not chasing willpower anymore because your biology supports you. Your brain feels sharp, your mood stabilizes, and your body feels light, not bloated. You can even go hours without thinking about food because your fat stores are always providing energy. That's what makes fasting effortless. It's not a struggle. It's a side effect of metabolic balance. This simplicity also extends to weight loss. When insulin levels stay consistently low, your body gains access to stored fat and burns it efficiently for fuel. You no longer rely on constant snacking or calorie counting. Instead, your appetite naturally regulates itself. Fat adaptation teaches your body to use what it already has instead of begging for more. Over time, your clothes fit better, your inflammation drops, and you start to feel truly in control of your hunger. And the best part, zero-carb doesn't feel like deprivation. It feels like freedom. Freedom from cravings that used to control you. Freedom from the brain fog that came after every sugar crash. Freedom from counting macros and tracking every bite. It's not about restriction. It's about peace with food. You eat simple, real ingredients that nourish you deeply and let your metabolism do what it was designed to do. When your blood sugar stays flat, your energy becomes limitless. That's when weight loss stops being a fight and starts being a natural result of metabolic clarity and balance. Even when people try their best to follow a zero-carb lifestyle, small mistakes can quietly knock them out of ketosis. These slip-ups are easy to make because they hide in foods that look perfectly keto-friendly on the surface. Understanding these traps can make all the difference between constant frustration and effortless success. The first major culprit is hidden sugars. They sneak into sauces, dressings, marinades, and spice blends. A tablespoon of barbecue sauce or ketchup can contain more sugar than you realize, and even sugar-free versions often use maltodextrin or dextrose, ingredients that still spike blood sugar. The same goes for flavored yogurt, nut butters, and certain protein powders. The solution is simple but powerful, always read labels. Choose clean condiments made with vinegar, olive oil, herbs, or spices only. Once you eliminate these sneaky carbs, your glucose curve flattens again, and ketone production naturally stabilizes. Another common mistake is overeating dairy or nuts. While cheese, cream, and almonds seem like perfect keto snacks, they can easily stall progress. Dairy, especially soft cheese and cream, contains trace lactose, and nuts carry small amounts of carbs that add up fast. These foods are also calorie-dense, which can slow fat loss when eaten mindlessly. The fix is to treat them as accents, not main meals. Sprinkle cheese instead of piling it, and pre-portion nuts instead of eating from the bag. Choose harder cheeses and fattier nuts like macadamias if you want the lowest carb load. The third issue is forgetting electrolytes and hydration. When you go zero carb, your body releases more water and sodium as insulin levels drop. This can leave you feeling tired, lightheaded, or achy, not because keto is bad for you, but because you're missing minerals. Add sea salt to your meals, sip electrolyte water, and include magnesium or potassium-rich sources like bone broth or mineral salt blends. These small adjustments restore balance and make the transition smooth. Lastly, there's the fiber factor. A zero-carb diet doesn't mean zero plants forever. Some people remove all fiber-rich foods and end up struggling with digestion or gut discomfort. The goal isn't to avoid all fiber, it's to find non-glycemic sources that don't affect blood sugar. Small portions of leafy greens, chia seeds, or psyllium husk can support gut health while keeping carbs nearly non-existent. Your microbiome thrives on diversity even in ketosis, so nurturing it helps you feel lighter and more balanced overall. Zero-carb eating works best when you focus on awareness and intention. It's not about perfection, it's about learning how your body responds. The moment you remove hidden carbs, balance your electrolytes, and listen to your body's signals, ketosis becomes second nature. You don't have to struggle or guess. You just have to stay curious and consistent. Have you made any of these mistakes? What helped you fix them? When you stay consistent with zero-carb eating, the changes go far beyond weight loss. You start noticing that your energy no longer depends on what or when you eat. Your blood sugar remains steady, your mood stabilizes, and your focus sharpens. Over time, this consistency rewires your metabolism. Your body becomes more insulin sensitive, meaning it uses energy efficiently instead of storing it as fat. By keeping insulin low, you reduce inflammation throughout the body, a key factor in preventing chronic diseases like heart disease, diabetes, and even certain autoimmune conditions. The benefits go deeper than just physical. Stable blood sugar supports balanced hormones, improving everything from sleep and mood to thyroid and reproductive health. Many people describe feeling emotionally lighter, less reactive, more calm, and mentally clear. This is the result of steady ketone production, which fuels your brain with a clean, stable source of energy. When your metabolism stops fluctuating, your mind feels as steady as your glucose line. You begin to experience true metabolic repair, a system that functions smoothly without constant crashes or cravings. Zero-carb eating also promotes longevity. Studies show that lower insulin levels and reduced oxidative stress slow aging at the cellular level. You're not just managing your weight, you're protecting your mitochondria, the engines of your cells, so they continue to produce energy efficiently as you age. Over time, people who maintain metabolic stability experience fewer energy dips, better joint health, and stronger immunity. It's not magic, it's biology working as it was designed to. The challenge, of course, is sustainability. To make zero-carb a lifestyle instead of a short-term fix, preparation is everything. Meal prepping on weekends, cooking in batches, and keeping zero-carb staples, like eggs, meats, and healthy oils on hand prevent last-minute carb temptations. Mindful eating also plays a role. Eat slowly, listen to your hunger cues, and stop when satisfied. You'll be surprised how little food it takes to feel full once your insulin and ghrelin, hunger hormones, are balanced. For some, adding periodic carb breaks can be useful, especially for athletic performance or hormonal balance. The key is to reintroduce whole clean carbs occasionally, like berries or root vegetables, without returning to blood sugar chaos. This approach keeps your metabolism flexible and responsive while maintaining the core benefits of ketosis. Ultimately, zero-carb eating isn't about restriction. It's about clarity. When you know which foods truly work for your body, you gain freedom from confusion and control over your health. It's a sustainable way to simplify nutrition and restore trust in your body's natural intelligence. Your energy becomes predictable, your cravings disappear, and your confidence grows because you finally feel in control of your metabolism. So tell me, what's your go-to zero-carb meal that keeps you feeling strong and focused? And if you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe for more evidence-based insights on how food can heal your body from the inside out.